So you have to wonder, is the choice drink here in Cloud City Spotchka or Coke 45? Do you really have to wonder? Now look, you can spill all the coffee you want, but don't you dare spill a drop of that Coke 45, baby. And hey, is Aries gonna be telling you about all these brand new Hot Toys Star Wars OT figures coming in 2022? I would say, I don't know. Chewbacca, calm down. Tell Leia I'll be there in a second. That's right. It is the Hot Toys Wizard morphed into Lando Calrissian, aka Brother Cousins the Space Pimp. And remember, you're watching Six Scale Cantina.
Wow. What a way to kick off the show.
I knew it.
My goodness, the Space Pimp, Brother Cousins, Lando Calrissian, the Hot Toys Wizard in the house. Goodness gracious. And you have to wonder, is the real Brother Cousins here?
There we go.
There he is. Man, that was a quick flash. Or are you the Hot Toys Wizard? Jay, what the heck is going on here today?
I don't know. Everything just turned black, and then I just blacked out. What happened? What happened?
It was the glass of bourbon that he was drinking in that skit. That's what it is.
Space Pimp. He does it again. He does it again. Damn it.
Oh, my God.
It works every time.
You know, it just gets my juices flowing. You know, this is Six Scale Raw on a Monday night. And look, what a way to kick it off. And we do have Jay, Brother Cousins, in the house. My man, what's going on? How are you doing?
Hey man, thank you so much for having me tonight. It's just great to be here. We got an excellent panel tonight. Let's get it. Monday Night Raw. Let's do it in full effect. That's right. And I got the Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt on. Let's do it.
I'd love to play one of those clips, but then a WWE would just flag me, you know, and I don't want to do that. Stone Cold. Good to have you in here, Jay. I think we're going to have a killer show. Let's go ahead and go down, up. And we got the Star Wars newsman. Brent, you've been on a couple of times. Good to have you back, buddy. What's going down?
Hey, man, I'm very thrilled to be back. It has been about a month since I shared this stage with you, Aries, and I always love it when you ask me to be a part of the show. And look at this panel, folks. Look at this panel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing is busting at the seams with some great ideas and content, and this thing is going to roll just right. And will we get a pre-order this week? I think we get one of those Inquisitors.
Ooh, wow. Starting it right off with, is it possible?
I am throwing that out there. The gauntlet is dropped. Let's do this.
Oh, my God. I like that. Good to have you in here, Brent. And then going down there on the other, keep going up, down, diagonal. Lael, 1/6 scale, man. Just saw you last night as well. I'm good, man. Coming off that great show with Will last night. You were on there. Having fun, baby.
Yeah, man, having some fun, man. Thank you for inviting me, bro. It's good to be here. Monday evening. So great to be amongst excellence when it comes to the panel. Great to be right next to the most beautiful woman in the galaxy herself. As always, like my co-compadre for Midnight Muses, also or actually Scoundrels. So definitely I'm so glad to actually have you to be here with you. But yeah, man, thank you for inviting me, brother. You know, it's not too often that you get a beautiful woman, a pimp, and a nookie all in the same show, bro. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I mean, I don't, and a wizard, you know what I mean? And then I'm just finally getting a chance to meet Star Wars newsman. I mean, hey, birthday Eve, this is my gift. So thank you.
Leo, you just made me do this, baby, and still my damn phone. Let's go to you. Come on, what is going on? Coming off a great Sunday brunch with Russ that you have on Sunday mornings. I just love that show. Love your channel. Great to have you back in here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. There's nothing that I love more than talking about Star Wars and talking about Star Wars with friends and close collaborators like Lael and brother cousins Anthony, who's always sending me messages, finding out how I am, meeting Star Wars newsman, and of course, Aries, you know that I am having right now Mon Mothma dreams.
Another good call there. We talked about that a little bit on Sunday brunch, and I like that idea. Wow. So starting off, Brent, you with the one of the Inquisitors. Is it going to be the fifth brother, the fourth sister, Mon Mothma? We'll have to see. What you drinking there, Mafia? Good to have you back, brother.
Oh, hey, man. Thanks, man. I'm actually drinking these sparkling waters, man, to be honest with you. But no, they're good, man. They're good. No, it's good, man. It's good. Thank you for having me as always, man. It's supposed to be a fun one tonight, right? We got a great panel here. Lots of cool stuff to talk about and, all that good stuff, man. It's fun. It's always fun.
Absolutely. So those that are in there, let me know what table that you're at. We'll go ahead and serve you all up tonight. Are you at the most dangerous table at the cantina? That is table 66. Are you at table 5 or table 88 with the little green guy, Grogu? Are you at table 2 with Mando, with Thor, with so many other great epic characters? Are you at the coldest table? That's kind of like, is it Hoth? I don't know. You'd have to let me know when we get back in here, but we got a whole lot to talk about. If you don't know who I am the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, and I'll be serving up along with all these panelists all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk. So let's go ahead. We got a whole lot to get into today. Let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. Welcome everybody to Six Scale Raw. We've got brother cousins in the house. We've got the Star Wars newsman. We have got Lael 16 Scale Man. We have got Adam from Positive Fandom. We have got the Six Scale Mafia in the house, Anthony, and maybe one of these guys or gals is the Hot Toys Wizard. You have to wonder, my goodness, what a way to kick it off. And let's say hi to some of the people that are in here. We have got Clink in the house, and I am at the Naomos table, Wizard. Well, good to have you in here, Clink, for sure. You're at a table. Let's go ahead and fill you up with, let's see, which one should we play? This is what I think that we're all waiting for.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Beskar Kid is in the house saying Hoth. They should call it Caldith. I'll see myself out. Hoth Luke? Hoth Han? Tauntaun, don't get me going. Good to have you in here. The Beskar kid for sure. Jack Jones is at table 66, the most dangerous table in the cantina, panelists. So let's go ahead and play this funny one. I'm feeling kind of chippy. Good to have. He's so over the top. Ian McDermott in Revenge of the Sith. I love it though. I love it, love it, love it. I never get tired of any of those films. Revenge of the Sith. Oh my God. Hi, Aries says Conquer Knight. Good to have you in here. Punisher XX. What is going on? The insane one is in here going wizard and pulling everybody up in here in the panel, including Brother Cousins Toy Reviews. Good to have you in here, my friend, for sure. And Lane Kramer's in the house with the $5 bomb right off the bat. What's going on there, Lane? Hey, hope panel is doing well. Tonight, myself on Clone Wars going to unbox my first Batman on collecting. I said Clone Wars. I'm so used to CW, but that's collecting weekly. Going to unbox my first Batman statue I have owned in 22 years. Man, showing how old I am right now. I think I may have you there though, Lane. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but good to have Lane in the house in here, my friends. And thank you so much for the $5 drop. And for that, my friend, we'll go ahead and spill the coffee with you, and let's cue it right up. Thank you so much, Daryl Lane. Always appreciate it. And MB Dyson's in the house. Greetings, fellow collectors. What's up to you? Aunt P is in here. Good evening, gentlemen and everyone. What's up? Ash Chase is in here. What's up to you as well? What's up, Witch Fett? Come on. What is going on? And we've got, come on, guys. We got to do this. I'll go ahead and do it. Woo! The big dog pound. Come on. And so many in here. Just go ahead and keep going on in the chat. But good to have you all in here. Go ahead and smash that like button. 6 Scale Raw. A whole lot to get into tonight. I have a fun show. I wanted to start it off fun. It was good seeing the Space Pimp in here right off the bat. Lando Calrissian. My goodness, that's epic for sure. But let's go to the first topic of the night. And I'm going to start off actually with you, Brother Cousins. I'm going to put you on the spot. Cool. And to open it up. Here we go. Here's the first topic of the day. KX Droid waitlists. This thing now, it was low stock warning for a while.
Yep.
But it's a reality. It's on waitlist. Doesn't come out till the second, third quarter of next year. And right at the same time, the heavy weapons clone trooper with the bark speeder and the sidecar gets a low stock warning. So I'm just going to open it up with this. What was your initial thoughts? As a lot's happened here. You know, we can bring up Kate Bishop, the Peacemaker. We can go into TC. We already know what's been happening with Star Wars. But just your impressions when this happened last week. What went through your head when you were like, wow, this actually happened, and wow, here's another one.
Yeah. Oh, Sideshow is not playing with us anymore. You know, I think they learned from having a whole bunch of stock sitting around and stuff not selling and having to slash prices and give us multiple discounts. So they didn't want to do that anymore. So what they're doing now is they're doing smaller batches. And that's also a way for, you know, all these companies to catch up and get everything out. So it's going back to, you know, we talked about this on Anthony's show on Saturday. It's going back to how it used to be. As last year, you know, it was the whole thing. A lot of us, it stopped pre-ordering. A lot of us on YouTube was saying it's not to pre-order. And there was a lot of people in the community that just stopped pre-ordering. What was the point when the stuff was just going, you know, coming out, and then a couple months later it would go cheap? Mm-hmm. But it seems like everything that has come out, you know, or been came out for pre-order this year it seems like it's all like a small batch. So you're seeing a lot of this stuff sell out or go away or hit waitlist before like almost a year or two before it comes out, which is crazy. We have to retrain our brains on how we think about this stuff now. I know me personally, I'm like, I used to take for granted that, oh, this stuff is there. Me personally, I would wait until it drops in Hong Kong. And I'm like, oh, it's out in Hong Kong? Okay, let me go ahead and do my pre-order and just go ahead and get it like that. No, that's not happening anymore. So it's, I mean, personally, I still think that this is a tactic for them to get people back into the fold and to get people to pre-order again. And I still think it's that. I think what they do is this stuff goes on waitlist. And people get on that wait list, and then they say, okay, how many people we got on wait list? Okay, let's get some more stock in, and just to fill those orders up. It's an incentive to get everybody back to pre-order again. So same thing with with these items right here. I'm just counting down the days, like what's going to come out, what's going to be waitlist. What am I going to wake up and see waitlisted?
And I was actually shocked, Jay, at everybody that with this one, because this is, when you actually see it actually happen, because it's an actual just regular figure, and it's a droid in a secondary market that's highly sought after, not as crazy as it was when this was announced, because people are like, oh well, wait a minute, I could get this one now. I don't have to go crazy on K2SO and spend $600-700. Now you can kind of pick it up for around $4, possibly all in, but right. Yeah, I mean, just wow. Droid, KX Enforcer droid, gone. It's weird, dude. It's weird to actually see it. It's almost like surreal, because it's almost we're seeing this pattern, and we're kind of like putting the pieces together with this economy, with what's been going on. Like, oh yeah, this is the way. Not to have to quote the Mandalorian, but you know what I'm saying. Right. No, good stuff, Jay. Anthony, I'm going to bounce right to you, since you were talking about this on your show and that type of thing. But your thoughts coming off on that. I mean, it happened with the KX Enforcer droid, and now you're when you go ahead and you look at the heavy weapons clone trooper, which is really interesting to me as well, dude, because this is a trooper, and I don't think yet you can get this heavy weapons clone by itself. But typically, clones, they'll like, hey, but it's almost making me think all bets are off with anything. But this has the low stock warning on it too now, bro.
Yeah. Again, as Jay mentioned, what we touched on that quite a bit Saturday, but it's to reiterate his point, is that what Sideshow's doing now, I think, is just a direct result of because that people weren't pre-ordering. Now, whether or not Sideshow's the standard as far as the U.S. distribution, right? Like, maybe we could still get these overseas, but it begs the question of whether or not, like, let's say this is happening, right? So they get the speeder, the enforcer droid. We've seen it. Anything that's been announced in 2022 so far has been having this happen to them. So if this is their plan moving forward, to encourage people to pre-order, to get back into maybe not even low stock as what they say, right? But for them, they want to encourage people to pre-order and commit, right? Now, if that is indeed the case, well, we know all this stuff's still going to be available overseas at some point, as it always is. That's never going to change, right? Because that's separate from Sideshow. But what makes me wonder is, if this is how they're going to go moving forward, then are the resellers going to look at this, because they know that too, and then will those figures cost even more overseas, because now they're going to be like, well, we're going to make you pay even more of a premium because we know that your distributor, right, is holding back for you. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So
yeah,
I'm really interested to see where this goes over the next year in that sense.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You say that, because I think you're right. I think that's very possible and way that it could go. But I talked to some resellers here, and I know that they're thinking of, hey, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to, pack up a little bit more of these, maybe not sell them, initially, like hold on to it, and then kind of like you sell it for, you could sell it for a higher price, or you could wait until, they're in demand. I mean, I think that some resellers are going to do that, because it's
Well, that's how it used to be,
yeah,
right? Like back in the day, that's
Yeah.
kind of how it was. You're like, oh well, I'm gonna get this figure. We know it's gonna run out, and oftentimes people would grab a double because, long time ago, that's how it was. Like your figures actually held value, or almost doubled in that sense if it was retail, right? So I don't know if that's going to happen again, but I still feel like if they're going to keep limiting our orders through Sideshow, then other people are going to take note of that and adapt to that, right? So maybe ordering overseas again is going to cost even more. Like, I don't know. It just depends on what's going to happen next year. We haven't seen it yet, right? Nothing that hit that low stock or sellout has even been released yet, so we have no way of predicting it.
Well, let me put this up from Ash Chase before we go on to the next panel member thoughts on this. Ash, thank you so much for the $5 drop. What's going on? And asks, did anyone see the new Ant-Man trailer? I'm so hyped right now. Hashtag Kang Gang. Who wants to go ahead and speak to this one? I have not seen the trailer, but has anyone here on the panel seen the new trailer? And I think Lael, you raised her hand. Go, baby.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, man. Like I'm definitely excited for it. And it's sneaky because it's right around the corner. Technically, it's in February. So this drops right after and they're doing it strategically because it's crazy because Black Panther ends the multiverse option of it. This
like
pretty
phase
much
4 or whatever.
phase 4, and then we're going into the next phase with Ant-Man and my main. So it looks really, really good so far on what I'm seeing. Definitely we're going to get a few figures out of it. And I know that's what a lot of people are waiting on. Kang looks pretty good. It's direction that they're taking with this trailer, with this film, but it doesn't give a lot away. For the first trailer, it's pretty decent, a bit chaotic, but it's decent. You know what I mean? I love what I'm seeing so far, and I know they're going to kind of hone it down on next trailer. But I'm definitely excited about it, man. I mean, hopefully, like my biggest thing is, I'm really hoping that again Marvel right now gets their act together, because again we've been getting lackluster properties. A lot of stuff hasn't been good. I mean, that's just plain and simple, and I'm hoping that they get it together. I'm hoping Disney to get with every because they're rushing so much stuff. I mean, Andor right now is the lucky of the bunch because it's incredible. So is Mandalorian. I'm not going to take it away from that either. But when it comes to their IPs, they gotta get their ducks in a row, because they're not really. I mean, they're focusing more on dollars and cents, and less on content. You know what I mean? Less on substance. Less on good story writing. So I'm hoping that they can kind of get that in control. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. Wait, to it. I guess you want to move on to everybody else, because I wanted to speak on what you were talking about.
No problem. Leo, go ahead and keep going. I just want to say thank you, Ash, for that. Much appreciated for the super chat. But yeah, Leo, go ahead. We're talking about the KX droid waitlist, a heavy weapons clone. Go, baby.
Well, here's the thing, because a few months back when they released this, I ordered 2 of them and I paid them off.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Now, I didn't do it because I had any idea that they were going to do this, but it happens. And it's starting to happen right now. So we're seeing, these companies go with lower batches specifically for Sideshow, they got to clear out that warehouse, man, because they got way too much stuff. Like literally they have stuff sitting. They got warehouse fines. I still don't know how the hell they're doing that, but they have warehouse fines, stuff like seriously stuff that just pops up out of nowhere. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, you said you didn't have it. Like, what happens if like a lot of this stuff goes to waitlist and then we find out that you really have them left over anyway? They're going through that. I mean, and hopefully with Spooktacular, with Black Friday, with everything that's happening for the holiday, that they start marking stuff down, because right now, like literally, they have to get rid of stuff. And I think this is one of the reasons why, even with them, they're going with lower batches, for product. And, a lot of stuff is going straight to waitlisting because they're smarter now. And again, like Brother Cousin said, like we, the, content creators have perpetuated a movement, which is not pre-order at the moment. You know what I mean? And they're getting smart about that because we're telling them this and they're like, yeah, you want to rethink that process now, buddy. But you know what I mean? So it's just like, but I think now, like the most important thing for all of us now is to really be wise because again, we got that, released the other day, or that reveal the other day of the Green Goblin. So when you think about that, it's a lot of stuff that's coming, a lot of stuff that's basically been revealed. I think now we got to pick and choose because it's like, can we have everything? Do we want everything? And we have to, because it's getting expensive. Like everything it's really an expensive draw right now. So I guess you got to be really, really smart about what you want. Pick the things that are really, really things that you really, really want, and not FOMO. Right now, this is not a space for FOMO anymore. Like really, it isn't. It's not a space for it anymore because things are expensive. These figures are going up, but our finances aren't changing. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it is what it is. Like you got to be smart about it. If you really wanted that KX, I'm pretty sure you can get it somewhere else. But do you want to spend those prices? And again, like stuff that you want now, like I mean, again, I saw this, the heavy weapon. I didn't order this. I don't have space for it. I really, really don't. And it's not a miss for me because I know I have. And again, I had to sit back and say, what is important to me right now?
Right.
What's important is the stuff that I'm waiting on, the stuff that hasn't been released yet. These pre-orders are not important to me.
And honestly, Leo, it's even if the Sideshow wasn't doing this because of this economy, we'd be doing the same thing, bro, that you're talking about. It's just
exactly.
It's almost like it's helping us, brother.
Yeah, it is helping us. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's helping us to really sort things out and realize what it is that we basically want. Again, I'm not going to jump on everything. Like, literally, I canceled the other day. People will probably be like, "Yo, why'd you do that?" But I actually canceled that Chrome Death Trooper because I didn't need it. Literally, I don't need it anymore. I really don't. I'm not going to do it just because everybody wants it. I don't need it. I have 2 Death Troopers that I need, and I'm fine. I don't need it anymore. I'm canceling things that I really, really don't need. You know what I mean? The things that I want take up more precedence. I'm waiting on releases of figures that I actually have. That's what I want. So, I mean, right now, it's all about being smart. Yes, we're seeing low stock on certain things, but if you didn't pre-order it the first time, don't do it now because obviously you didn't want it. You know what I mean? Don't do it just because that's being pushed. If you wanted it, you would have probably pre-ordered in the very beginning. Or if you were just waiting to see if it goes on sale, I guarantee you some of this stuff is going to come back. It is. It's going to come back, or you can find it elsewhere. But just be smart about it. That's all I'm saying.
You know, everybody in here, you're watching Six Scale Raw. Don't forget to smash that like button. We're talking about the crazy events that have been going on with Sideshow and with Hot Toys, and these Hot Toys on pre-order, whether it's Marvel, DC, Star Wars, starting to hit waitlist early. My goodness gracious. And for Star Wars, KX Enforcer Droid, waitlisted. Now you're starting to see the heavy weapons clone and Bark Trooper with sidecar, waitlisted. And I mentioned it on Will Fox Vacation show last night. I think with some of these, maybe a year and a half, you'll see them straight reissued. Yoda, Attack of the Clones, they did that with before. They've done it with the Han and Chewbacca 2-pack. So I think you're going to see some of that happen as well. But really, Artem, let's go to you before we get to Brent and get both of your thoughts on this whole thing. They're really making it clear, and this usually happens in an economy such as this, that they don't really want any stock at all. They're looking, this is going to be the next topic we're going to get into, which I really, really think there's going to be a fire sale coming up here. I think I looked at Spooktacular. They're already saying they may be 40% off on some figures. I think when we get to Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Carlos was talking about that last night on Will's show. And I think once we get to Christmas, that season, forget about it. But what's interesting, I don't know, when you look at like a figure like the Jet Trooper. Okay. It also has a low stock warning, but that's been in stock for, it seems like, years now. That's just been in there. But they're still giving away free shipping on the darn thing, and it has a low stock warning. So it's like they only have a few. What do they have? Like a few boxes on a pallet? But they just want to say, get these out of here. We want them gone. Very, very interesting. Is it possible that we're starting to see that this will move to a pre-order type of model, type of business, and, not so much in stock anymore?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're definitely going to see more of that, and definitely more limited initially. If there's enough demand, I guess they could produce more of any of these figures. But this heavy weapons clone trooper, I didn't order this, although my best friend saw it and he was like amazed by just the speeder. That was the thing that grabbed his attention. So I asked him, I said, should we order this? Like, do you want it? And he's like, he had to think about it. So I don't know if he's going to go for it, but it is a lot of money. It is, the price of, a good statue even. But it's so cool looking that, he's constantly looking at this thing. So I may get it for him. I don't know. But I knew I was going to order. I had already pre-ordered, I can't remember the name of it. I'm actually looking at it. I had already pre-ordered the KX Enforcer droid as soon as it came out for sale. So I knew I was going to get that. Like, I wasn't going to miss out on that. And I'm glad I ordered it, but I buy it on time. So I'm not going to see it for like maybe, I don't even know how long it's going to take. Even if it gets released soon, I'm not going to see it until I pay it off. And I'm fine with that. Like, I can wait and, do it in a way that I can afford. I cannot afford that heavy weapons clone trooper with speeder. Like, I can't afford that. So, but I'm happy.
It's expensive. Yeah.
It is pricey, but I really haven't seen a lot like that. Gosh, even I was like, that looks so unique and different. Opening that up, by the time we get it, it'd be his birthday, but I think anybody would be super excited to get something like that. You're not going to see too much like that out there. So that's really interesting. And I know Spice Runner was talking about this chrome because he's talking about the chrome trooper. That was another one that we were looking at. And I also am unfortunately limited in space, but yeah, I had to get the KX Enforcer droid. I have some other characters that I want to put next to him the same way they show with that background, because it's going to be a crossover, obviously Terminator and Star Wars. So it's going to look cool. But once again, I couldn't afford this one for $610. It looks amazing for myself, but I can't get it. But I think that if you're invested in that, that would be one I would be more apt to grab for this. I mean, I just don't see them packing a whole bunch of these away. I think that's probably more limited than the Enforcer droid, which, truth be told, is just like K2SO. So I think that this thing with Sidecar, that's the one. If I had to grab one and I had the money, this would be the one I'd pick up, because when else are you going to see that? So it's okay that it's in low quantity. I'm fine with that. And if it means that they make a better quality product, that's even better.
Hey,
yes.
So I just got a message from, actually, I just got a message from Anthony. He said, don't tell, I'm surprising her with this piece. So you don't have to worry about it. You good?
What?
There you go, Mafia.
Hey, man, my hands are here.
Man.
No.
Nice.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Wow, you got my attention there. But honestly, this piece looks more than $600 to me. I think if someone came over to your house and saw it, they probably think it was about $1,200. It just looks so cool. It looks custom made. I mean, I know these are museum quality, but this one, there's something special about this one. So I think that's what stood out to my friend. He was like, even if he bought it and put it together and make it look like that, it just was unbelievable looking. So that's the aesthetic of what you're buying, is something to think about too. And if you have the space. So yeah, I'm fine with them making fewer Hot Toys. I think that it's okay. And if they want to clear out the shelves, I don't know whether they're going to be able to do that if they wait too long. They keep saying we're having this recession and the economy is going to be bad. But honestly, I want to save some of my dollars for any possibility that we might see a Mon Mothma figure, because I would spend $600 for a Mon Mothma figure.
You know, when you get that one figure, I would spend $600 for a Bail Organa figure. Probably $1,200.
Yeah.
But
I think Mon
no,
Mothma's
totally
coming.
Yeah.
You know, it very well might be. You know, good stuff there. Everybody who's watching, you are watching Six Scale Raw. Welcome in here. And Brent, yeah, you know, going to you with this and putting this up from MB Dyson on the screen. Most of what I want, though, was announced before the low stock figures, I think. And I was pointing that out because I talked about that in the current market chart show that is up now that I put out this weekend. You know, I talked about that, you know, addressing a little bit of this Blurg and the OG Mando. And, you know, I have two schools of thought on that particular piece. One is, hey, you know what? It wasn't really, it didn't grab a whole lot of attention, any of those figures with the Blurg. So maybe they didn't, you know, put a whole lot of the purchase orders for those. However, that was announced when they were just clearly overestimating how many of these would sell back in 2021. So I think it's kind of like a crapshoot with that. I mean, half of me thinks that's going to the bargain bin because it's during that time. The other half of me is like, well, even when they were ordering 8 million zillion of these, they certainly wouldn't have with that, would they have? So I really don't know. But here's the thing. He brings up an interesting point. I think, you know, piggybacking off of what everyone said and also what Leo was talking about, hey, you know, we have to kind of approach things a little bit differently now because these are just, they're not going to be as available. And I do want to point out, though, as we get into that, Sideshow's not the only game in town. You know, I order from Sideshow, but I order from different people all the time. And, you know, they're going to get their stock in, you know, even though this hits, you know, waitlist. That doesn't mean XYZ comic shop and ABC comic shop and this place overseas and that place, like Anthony, you were talking about before. They're all going to get them in.
Right.
The question is just how many are going to be in the long run. And I think this is going to harken back to the olden days of when Hot Toys were a little bit more exclusive, even though they're not really exclusive. But I honestly think that for figures that were announced any time last year, I really think that there's just the purchase orders are in. It's probably going to be just so many. But the ones this year, especially after that DX 25 and around the same time as the KX Enforcer droid, I just think it's very possible you're going to see many of these figures get the low stock warning. But go ahead, dude.
Well, I wonder, Aries, you know, first of all, I think we definitely are going to a full-blown 100% pre-order system. I think it's going to happen. I think it's probably going to be something that's rolled out in 2023. I don't think you're going to see it this year, but I think they're moving in that direction. Mm-hmm. Question is what will it look like? Okay. I don't know how many people remember what it was like back in 2006 when Sideshow Collectibles got the 1/6 scale license away from Hasbro. Hasbro was making 12-inch 1/6 scale figures. They relinquished it to Sideshow. Back then, when the first Luke Jedi, the very first 1/6 scale Star Wars figure that was released was by Sideshow Collectibles in 2006. And it was a Luke Jedi with the bone. It was $49.99, by the way. Okay. I remember how it's true. All of these figures were between $50 and $100 back then. And there was no Hot Toys doing Star Wars back then at all. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was all Sideshow Collectibles for about the first 5 years. But how they handled pre-orders, it was called a priority pre-order. Okay. Every Monday or Tuesday, they would announce, or every 2 Tuesdays, they would announce the next figure. It would come to you in an email. Okay. And it had all the information. They were very transparent. They told you that there was going to be 1,500 of these figures worldwide, 1,750 of these worldwide. You need to be on your computer at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Friday in order if you want to get one of these figures. And you had to. I mean, there was no, this was the only time that you could pre-order a 1/6 scale figure back in from about 2006 through 2010 or 11. Okay. And they told you what the stock was going to be worldwide. I'm telling you what, folks, that is a stressful experience because I did just about every single one of those back in the day. I had to be home. I had to be hovering over my computer. I had to be refreshing Sideshow's page over and over and over so that it would eventually morph into the priority pre-order, at which point I could then order the figure. And then you sit there and you watch the pinwheel of death spin because you don't know yet until the T number reveals itself that you got the figure or not. And sometimes it would take 10 minutes. And I'm here to tell you right now, when they were doing that, they would sell out of their stock within 10 minutes of every single figure. Stop and think about that for a second. We're sitting here right now having a discussion about stuff that has been sitting in stock in a warehouse at Sideshow Collectibles for months. But when they did that priority pre-order, they made us as consumers feel pressured and to feel like if we want that, this is our only chance to get that, or we're going to be stuck having to pay inordinate prices on the secondary market to get it. So I just wonder, guys, I mean, Aries, what are your thoughts? Do they go back to that? Or is there someplace in between that and where we are now that the pre-order experience is going to look like so that at least there's some regulation of it like that?
You know, that's an interesting thought. And, you know, it's like that with, you know, the mechanism that you brought up is not far to even, you know, collectibles going outside of toys. It's like that with, you know, sneakers. It's like that with hats. You know, they you know, it's like keep refreshing the button and, oh gosh, you know, my Apple Pay didn't go through or that type of thing. You know, it's possible that could happen with some, especially with some exclusives or who knows what mechanism that they're going to do. But I you know, brought this up last night on Will's show that, you know, I think that, hey, the first thing that happens is, you know, Mafia, going back to you, it's like, okay, we're Sideshow. Hey, Hot Toys, here's the new purchase orders. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. This is like half as much or 66% less than what you usually buy. Yep. No, we're not going to keep it. You know, we're just doing what we think is going to, you know, sell other pre-orders and that type of thing. So Hot Toys in turn is like, okay, well, let me make some 2.0s or some different variations or use this armor 8 million times or this mold. Oh yeah, well, we'll take everything that you put out. And so they're like, hey, let's put this out so we can get more numbers. Again, you know, lower supply, more production, you know, all that jazz. At the same token, too, if Sideshow keeps doing that, Sideshow keeps getting, you know, revenue from pre-orders. They do pretty well on that. Doesn't look like, Anthony, they're doing as good with things in stock, but they're moving pre-orders. So, you know, hey, let me ask Anthony, would they rather have 5,000 extra KX Enforcer droids sitting in stock, or maybe 5,000 of a K2SO from the Andor series? That's another variant that they want to put up on pre-order. They probably sell more of that than the other one that's in stock. But go ahead, go, baby.
Well, I don't think they want to have any stock, to tell you the truth,
so
right? Because anything sitting is literally that, right? Dead stock, right? But to your point, like, you know, I feel that, you know, Mondo does that stuff now too, right? You know, and a couple other companies, they'll put out, you know, Battle Cat just came out, and you have to buy it. You have to buy it. Like right now, if you don't buy it, it's gone. It's gonna, you know, kind of like what Newsman was saying back in the day. It's very similar. You know, hey, you got to get it. You want it now, you better get it. I don't think they'll do that again. Maybe Sideshow may try to do that again with their stuff, but with Hot Toys, I think it's grown too big for itself in that respect to where it would work, because it's also everybody would just order overseas at that point now, right? But back then it was different, right? But so for now, I think, you know, they don't want to have the stock, right? And to Lael's point earlier, it's like I said the same thing. I agree. Like we're not in a position, everything keeps going up in price. So it's not like whereas before we felt like, oh, you know what, we can get this. It's not too expensive. And oftentimes we would get another one because the value would go up and you could just flip it, get another figure, so on and so forth, whatever. That's not the case anymore. So now it's like we really do have to choose what we want to buy. Like I can't get every single figure just because I like something, right? It's they're not $200 anymore or 180 like that speeder, the like arc speeder's $700. It's cool if you can grab it, but I'm like, well, no, because then what if you want, like again what Leia was saying, there's other stuff coming too that has my eye a bit more than that, right? So now we have to be a bit more selective, unless we're loads of money and loads of space. But so it's weird, dude. And where we're going with it, I mean, we don't know yet until, but I agree, anything 2022 is like having that low batch thing on, at least on Sideshow, right? Prior to 2022, right? You said, stuff's gonna be sitting in stock. It's gonna be around.
That's what I think.
Like Bespin Luke's probably gonna hit that. That was end of April, and now we're almost November. So I'm thinking before the end of the year, he may come up with a low stock warning.
I agree.
And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to, I'll order it at that point then, because again, as we were talking before, we had that learned behavior already in us where we were like, well, we don't really have to pre-order anything. It's gonna be cheaper overseas on sale, or people are gonna buy into hype and then sell it. We'll get it cheaper, whatever. Like it's all changing. But until this, what was it? Was it Peacemaker? I don't know if Peacemaker was the first one to go waitlist, but whenever that just started, like a few months back, hit waitlist a year. Yeah, somewhere one of those, right? So until we know when that's out, let's just say it's retail at this point, it's available for everybody except Sideshow. Once that first one hits, then we'll be able to gauge like what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
Because we don't know yet if Star Wars is not that big in Asia.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just simply not. I mean, everybody I talk to, it's cool, but it's not like here. So they're not collecting it as much as we are.
Right.
The batches over there are smaller compared to what we get. So that value may actually end up going up when they're like, hey, you know what? These guys couldn't get this shit for a year. You know what I mean? They know that. So, but we won't know until next year, really, until these waitlists, these current ones are actually out on the market. And then we'll have to kind of see where it goes from there. But we have to be more selective these days.
Yeah, and you know what's real interesting about that, and Lael, I'm going to go to you with the next comment so that you could, with the next topic, and that way you could go ahead and jump off. But here's the interesting thing. I really do think, Anthony, that's going to happen with the DX25. I think it's absolutely going to happen also, the DX27 with the DX28. But until it does, until you get that low stock warning, you actually don't have to pre-order it. They'll put up that thing and then you'll get that little alert like, and it's like, okay, well, if it happens, like you're seeing it happen with the Kate Bishop, like the Bat Signal, like you saw it happen with the Peacemaker, like you're seeing it happen with the Clone Trooper, the heavy weapons Clone Trooper with the speeder bike, that's when you do it. But I do agree. I think that's when it's going to happen. But that's going to bring us to the next topic, and I'm going to let you, Lael, just say your piece on that. I know you've got to jump off to comic book with friends. I always love when you pop on here first.
I pushed the time. I pushed it to 9:30 just to give me a little bit more time. So I got a few minutes. I got a few minutes here. But
awesome.
What was your question? Yeah.
So you could go ahead and close out on that. But this is the next topic on top of it, and I know we talked about a little bit last night, and we started talking about it here as well. Holiday season mega discounts. Now, look, I took a peek today, brother, on the Spooktacular because I registered and I got the points. I got the points for registering, and I want to play that video game that you showed last night too on Will's show to be able to. Yeah. But I really think like there's going to be some big discounts on Hot Toys, my man.
I think so. I mean, the thing is, they're going to have to do it, bro. because again, they have way too much. They got stuff they've been sitting on for like 4 or 5 years now, longer. You know what I mean? Like longer than that. Like they're gonna have to do something, get with the program, or just get with the times, because competition is already doing it. You know what I mean? The competition that you hate the most is already doing it, and they're liquidating stock. You know what I mean? To get rid of pieces to get more in. You know what I mean? So love them or hate them, it's a smart move. You know what I mean? And I think that you need to start doing that now. I mean, I know that you were holding on these pieces because you didn't want to conform, but I mean, at the same time, you're hurt. Put it this way, I can't say that they're hurting. I'm not saying that, but they're taking a few punches and they're dented a little bit. You know what I mean? And they're gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? Because again, just like we run out of space, I'm pretty sure they are too. Their warehouse can only maintain but so much before it becomes like a lost ark type situation of Raiders, where you have like a whole stock full of crates. You know what I mean? So I think they have to kind of change that attitude a bit and kind of reshape things, because it's the only way that it's going to basically work. That I believe, and I think it makes the most sense to do so. But I think we're going to see some deals. We're not going to see as much. We're going to see some things during Spooktacular. We'll see a few doing Black Friday. I think during the Christmas season we're going to see a lot more because they're preparing. There's a lot of stuff that's coming in. We're going to probably see a few more releases next month. You know what I mean? Hopefully they're going to, if they were smart, they would do it. You know what I mean? They would really, really do capitalize on this to try to at least make some money as well. So again, we'll basically see, how they choose to handle it. But I think it's just going to be smart. Smart business. It's a smart business move itself to kind of move things. They need to move things quickly to make space for things that are coming. You know what I mean? They need to actually start doing that. And for them, for us, it would be a win, for pieces that, they're sitting on that you can't find, that you want to get, and you want to get at a lower price, because like I said, that $5 shipping it looks pretty good. You might even actually luck up and get a piece at a discounted rate that doesn't have any shipping at all, free shipping. They're trying to basically move stuff, and I think now's the time to do it, and it's smart for them to do it. And again, Good Morning Grails is going to look even better.
Yeah. You know what, Jay? We're gonna go to you, and Jay, feel free to comment, because I thought maybe you wanted to speak on the previous topic, which kind of ties in to this topic a little bit. But listen, like Lael was saying, Good Morning Grails, baby.
Yes.
That's one of the things I want to talk about tonight too. Look at what's happened with the Arena Fett. Yes. I'm waiting for an Arena Fett Good Morning Grail from you, my friend, because it's already double the price. So, yes. And then a lot of these, if they're low like that, goodness gracious. But, what do you think here, my friend? You see up to 40% off. I put that on the screen.
Yep.
I think we could get can you imagine some, maybe hard with Star Wars, but can you see a 40, a 50% off on a figure or two to clear them out for the end of the year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys seen it, but did you see the massive discount that they put on Bro Thor last week? They were selling it for next to nothing. It was like $190. I've never seen a Hot Toy be sold for $190 since what, 2008? 2008, 2009. Wow. So yeah, they're trying to, like Leo, everybody on the panel was saying, they're trying to clear out. They're trying to clear out stuff that's been sitting. I'm looking at the Avengers over here, and I'm looking at the Avengers Shatari 2-pack that has been in stock for 100 years. So yeah, so they they got to get rid of it. They got to get rid of stuff. I don't think we're going to see too many major discounts on any new figures or anything like that, or I don't see it happening. Outside, it'll be cool. It'll be great to see that. If anything, I know Lando has been sitting. Maybe we'll see something like that. Maybe we'll see Lando go for with a 20% discount or something like that, or free shipping, or something like that, which would be crazy if that's the truth. I will be buying a couple of them because I still think those are going to be future grails. Anything OT is going to be a future grail. So
yeah, you know what? I can't believe that they did and good stuff there, brother Cousins. But I'm going to you. I can't believe you still have the best car, Mando. The deluxe with the 2 Grogus and the regular with the 1 Grogu, and it sells pretty good. I mean, it's up there. But man, oh man, I bet you they want to get rid of those so bad before the Chrome Mando with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt comes out.
Mhm.
Now, this is one that I was bringing up before, and Anthony, you echoed the comments as well. That was not announced this year. That was a
No.
Chrome Mandalorian the year before. So they may have made 8 zillion of those, and it's too late on those purchase orders. But if that's the case, I don't know. They're probably can't. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to want that over getting a Pedro Pascal head sculpt. It's like an upgrade, the new one. I think it is anyway.
Yeah, and I think that we are going to see more figures with Pedro Pascal's head sculpt. So, and I'll take whatever I can get as far as I'm concerned. If I do like the figure, if it's Mando and I don't get a head sculpt, I don't care often because I just like the Mandalorian so much. So I'll get multiple, and I do have multiple of these figures. So clearly I got them because I love them. But I think that practically speaking, there's a lot of repeats that, especially for that particular line, in such a short period of time. And for me, a short period of time, I would say maybe at an 18-month period where we saw so many releases just for that one character. It was a lot. And I don't know whether it was a record or whatever you would call it, but they rushed in to produce as much as they could. That's what they did. So I don't fault them for that. I'm sure they've sold a ton of these, and they're going to continue to sell a ton of them as people start to discover the series, because not everybody has that series or has watched the series. So their rationale is that they're probably in this for the long term, and they'll keep a lot of these lines for Mando up for the next 5 to 10 years, I think. And then maybe after that time, they'll decide they're going to push it aside, but they have no reason not to keep making as many Mandos as possible. So that's how I view that their kind of investment, in that they're banking a lot on it. And I think it has been paying off for them. I think it has. So, while they may not be breaking records with every figure, they made a size that fits everybody's budget and varieties of combinations that will fit every collector. So for them, it's a win. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, season 3 is coming out. Maybe there'll be 4 seasons of The Mandalorian. I don't really see it going past that point. So this might be the last season. Who knows? But it almost doesn't matter in a way. The popularity seems to be growing. It certainly isn't waning for The Mandalorian. So there is that. The question is, for me at least, I want to see what happens in November when they start to bring Mando and Grogu, the live action, let's say the actors, I don't know what you call them, what do they call them, cast members in Disney? I want to see what happens once they bring the cast members to the parks, and whether that's going to increase interest in getting more figures and things of that nature for The Mandalorian. So I can't think of any more immersion that they would have at this point. If it goes well, then I think Sideshow will say, yeah, they're in the parks now. People are going to want to come and see if they can get a 1/6 scale figure or something. When we were at Star Wars Celebration, in some of the areas that we were in, they had the 1/6 scale figures. So obviously I'm expecting Disney to follow through. Maybe we'll start to see them somewhere in the parks. I wouldn't be surprised with the Mando line. So I don't think they're going to necessarily say we have to cut back on these areas. I think it's going to be strong for another at least 5 years. So that's my thoughts about The Mandalorian. Regardless of what it is, I think it's going to sell.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything from Mando is going to sell. I mean, that's just the thing. Like anything that drops from Mando, especially if it's a new figure, because it's the hottest thing out there right now. You know, anything Mando clones somewhat, and unless it gets oversaturated with clones, you know, that hype might start to die down a tad bit. Not right now, because it's still going strong. But the Chrome type of situation, like these Chrome these Chrome troopers, and that might end up dying down. You know, it might end up hitting that, what is it? The Neon Tech Iron Man type of feel, you know, where people just get tired of them. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why, for me, you know, I just thought about it. I didn't need that Chrome, you know, Death Trooper, because I have the original, you know. So I just, something had to be compromised for things that I wanted, you know, that were coming. And I compromised that because, again, I knew I wanted Echo. You know what I mean? So again, it just made absolutely perfectly good sense for me. So yeah, man, that's it. But hey, guys, I got to jump out of here, man. I got to get ready for tonight's show. Anthony, we're going to continue rapping about this shit because that's dope. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, dude.
That is so dope. Like, I'm just looking at it right now. I'm like, ooh, okay. But yeah, thanks, Aries. Thank you for having me on tonight, man. It's always a pleasure to be here, bro. Anytime you want me on, you got to hit me up, and I'm here all day, every day. Nice meeting you, Star Wars newsman, man. I mean, your knowledge is like, you know, stuff that you talk about takes me so far back because I remember those days. I remember those days, boy.
Dating ourselves, brother. Dating
exactly. You know what I mean? So I definitely remember those days, man. Mafia, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Brother Cousins, man, I need some of that juice for tomorrow, so it's gonna be a celebration. Definitely, man. But thank you so much for having me, and you guys, everybody out there, if you haven't already subscribed to everybody on this panel, please make sure you do, because they are killing it and they are worthy of the cause. So definitely, man, love you guys, love everybody out there in the chat, and I'll talk to you guys later. And don't tune in to tune into the comic book talk with friends after the show. Don't abandon the ship. Tune in after, because we'll be on. So just tune in after that, okay? Talk to you guys later.
Lael, just want to say, everybody in here, Lael, awesome channel. Make sure you subscribe to the 16 Scale, man. I've got the link to Lael always
Thank you,
in
brother.
the video descriptions below. Thank you, my
brother.
man.
Thank you, brother, so much. See you guys later on, man.
Peace.
All right, so Anthony, let's move to you with this here now. You heard a lot about this conversation with these discounts. What do you think? Well, you know, from your opinion here with some of these figures, are they going to clean house before the end of the year? Is it critical for them to maybe try and get rid of some of these figures before they want to start? You know, obviously, it looks like that they're starting that pattern towards this pre-order type of mechanism. And I think it's going to be one of those things like where these are up for a little bit, but then everyone's going to kind of know in the back of their head, hey, I got a certain amount of time before that low stock warning hits, and then that's it. And it's going to completely change the game. But right now, they do have a lot in stock, bro. So what are they going to do here by the end of the year? Do you think we can get some monster deals like maybe Clone Wars Ahsoka? Maybe the Luke 40th? Or is that, you know, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do some of those as well, because you got to remember, man, they have actually been doing sales all year.
Yeah,
like all year there's a new event or stuff was discounted. Like at first, you know, at the beginning of the year, it was mostly Marvel, right? It was just kind of some of the, I would say, mass-produced stuff, right? We had Captain America, we had Endgame Cap, Endgame Hulk, Endgame Thor. Now Endgame Thor especially now has gone heavily discounted twice this year, right? So, and then we saw like all their Marvel for a while was like 10% off. Then for a little while, most Star Wars was 5% off. And then now everybody and their moms are getting 10%, 15% off, $25 coupons, like on all their boxes. And then we have these events month after month after month, right? So that all that tells me they got too much stuff. They have, they have too much stuff, and maybe it's not their fault. Maybe that's the status quo that's always been, but you know, everything's going up in price. accept people's paychecks, right? So since things are like cutting back, people are cutting back. So now Sideshow's getting affected by that, right? They're like, well, we're used to selling 20,000 units a month. Now we're selling 5. I mean, I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers, right? So what happens? Well, more stuff comes in. They don't just carry hot toys, you know? They carry tons and tons and tons of stuff that all has to go somewhere. So I feel like more and more deals are going to happen. Now they'll probably do something maybe like a Black Friday thing, maybe, you know, holiday stuff. But I think, yeah, we're going to keep seeing these deals, these coupons, these events. I mean, definitely through the year, but they'll probably continue forward. You know, January, they're going to have like a New Year's event. February, they'll do a Valentine's event. Like they'll just keep, they'll have a St. Patrick's Day in March. Like they'll do something, you know, an Easter one, right? And then in April, and then we have May again for Star Wars.
Christmas in July, baby.
I'm serious. Yeah. So, you know, they have to do something to catch up.
I'm
on
looking
that.
at the numbers. I've been playing with I was just playing with this. So just to bring that point home, I'm looking at the Mandalorian and the Child Deluxe set on Sideshow, and I put in. They got a code, 15% off, discount 15. That's $47.25 in discounts, almost a $50 discount on this. They want this out the door.
They want it gone, baby.
They want it gone.
Oh my God, that is. And the same thing is going on, and I could see if I could pull it up. You know, while we're talking in the background over here, before we get to the next coffee spilling epic segment that I know all the panelists are going to love and everyone can participate in. We're going to see if you agree with my top 10 of this. But Brent, you get the last word on this. What do you think about some of these figures that, you know, like we're just all talking about, and Brother Cousins just brought up, you know, about the, you know, $50 discount already. I don't know. I think it could be. I think we could get some pretty spectacular deals and maybe spectacular deals before the end of the year, my friend.
No, I agree. I think we all need to be keeping an eye on our emails, and it wouldn't hurt occasionally to check out, you know, Sideshow's website if that is your source to get these figures, to see what type of coupons are being attached to a lot of these figures on the best sellers list. I just counted them up. Right now, there's 18 1/6 scale Star Wars figures on Sideshow's best sellers list that have 13% off codes right now. 18 figures. They are all.
Oh wow! I didn't see the 13% today. Wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 13% off. So there's 18 figures that have 13% off. That's
even the Armorer. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the Armorer, a couple weeks ago, I remember going on, and it was at 30% off, free shipping. I don't know how long they posted that up for, but I already have that figure, so I didn't want it. But I was like, wow, 30% off on that figure, really? But
all right, so check this out, too, guys, and Brent, while you're going, and Anthony, check this out. I'm just going to pull this up because, and I know it's been in there for a while, but honestly, guys, low stock warning. This is going to hit waitlist. And, you know, so they don't have to like super rush. Okay, it's a low stock warning. There's not very many. Like you were saying, Brother Cousins, they just don't care because limited time offer 13% off and it has free shipping. Yep. And it's going to hit waitlist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brent, it's crazy.
No, it's off the rails. I mean, this is a perfect example right here. I mean, this figure has been available for how long? Years, right? I mean, I remember pre-ordering it, I think, in December of 2019. I mean, it was either 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2019. And maybe it was 18. I don't know. But anyways, I mean, it's, you know, still available. That's been showing low stock remaining for months. It's absolutely crazy. Limited to 13% off. I mean, there you go. I mean, I think we're absolutely looking at having several figures here as we head into the holiday season where people are in the gift-giving mood. I mean, I think you're going to be seeing Sideshow looking to just eat it. I mean, I think they just need to eat some stock, eat some financials. And if they want to, you know, get this mechanism, like you say, Aries, flipped over and get this new business model in place, you got to get get the old out of the way a little bit so that you could start having space and room and ability to start focusing and pushing the new. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. So if there's any figures out there that are in stock that people have been wanting to get, I think over the course of the next month and a half, 2.5 months of the year, you're going to have an opportunity to do that.
Good stuff. We got over 100 in here. Go ahead and smash the like button. You are watching Six Scale Raw. And while you're at it and you're hitting that like button, make sure you subscribe to all these panel members that are in here. I got everybody's channels in the video link below, including Brother Cousins, Jay, it's in there, Positive Fandom, Leo, 16 Scale Man, who was on earlier, Anthony, the Six Scale Mafia, and Brent. When you finally get that channel, we'll put your link in there too, baby. And then Single Songwriter said Spooky22 is the code for 13% off. And then this is interesting. Azaj Ventress, 13% off. Damn. It's not just with Hot Toys. I mean, there is a recession going on. I think that's, one of the things I want to say before we get into the next thing. It's not just Hot Toys and Six Scale. It's this economy. Typically, a lot of things, not some things you do, but not everything, especially items like this, you just don't want to keep in stock. People are cutting back. I've heard that this is going to be maybe one of the worst holiday seasons in recent in memory. There's going to be crazy deals, Black Friday coming into the holiday. So there's going to be some good stuff out there for sure. But we're going to go into the next topic, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And this should be a fun one. And I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. Are we ready? And Chad, I think you'll like this. Aries is 2022 most crazy Star Wars Hot Toys drops and teases. And I'm going to go put one up after the other. And we'll go to each one of the panel members here as we put these on. So, guys, listen, this has been an absolutely crazy damn year for Star Wars. Forget about Disney Plus, because it was. But for Hot Toys and Star Wars. And I think putting these up on the screen, and, Arnold, Brent, Jay, Anthony, I don't know if I've hit them all here. And I'm probably missing some, but I'm sure all of you will come up with something here. But I'm going to go in. But I mean drops. I mean like, hey, oh my goodness, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, or I woke up in the morning, or at 12 o'clock. Look at this, official announcement, or teases. And teases can be anything. So I'm going to count them down from 10 to 9. And I'm going to pull up the first one onto the screen, of course, starting from number 10 all the way up to number 1 on the most crazy, shocking, I guess, drop or tease of this year. And I'm waiting for this to load. And let's go ahead and go to the first one of my top 10. And I think that, pulling this up, the KX Enforcer droid announcement, which is now waitlisted. I was actually surprised with this drop from Hot Toys. Jay, I'll start with you first. I don't know if you remember when this happened, but, the Book of Boba Fett got some real, interesting, feedback from it. It's still, the finale was 36% higher in the ratings.
Yep.
I think thanks to The Mandalorian, than the Mandalorian season 2 finale. So it was a success, a huge success. Got people excited for The Mandalorian. But I was a little bit shocked that this came out. This was a, in a flashback, in the background.
Yeah.
And so to me, this is my number 10. For number 10, leading up to number 1 of my shock for 2022 for Star Wars.
Yeah. So, I mean, so the question pretty much you're asking me, like, what was my thoughts when it's dropped, or
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
your comments on it. For me, this I'm giving everybody my top 10. This makes it to my top 10. It's number 10. It's at the bottom of the list, but this was kind of shocking to me. The DX27 is not shocking to me. I knew they were going to come out with an Obi-Wan,
exactly.
but this was shocking to me. I didn't think that they would do this.
I mean, you know what, we saw for that quick second, and that was such a bad ass scene. I know Book of Boba Fett, yes, it was not a little, but it was divisive. I think we can all agree that it was divisive, but it was so many great moments. I mean, not just great moments for a Disney series, but just great Star Wars moments in that one show. That it was amazing, and this was one of them. Because when I seen this scene, I was like, "Damn, that's Terminator right there! Oh my god, and that's right up my alley." So it just was great to see that scene. I mean, it was horrific and scary, but just just cool at the same time. And when they released this, yes, it was. I was like, "What? Really? They're doing this? They're releasing this?"
Yeah, that's
right
how
here.
I was.
Really? I was like, "What? Really? This is happening?" And I know, especially it was a lot of people that wanted, they wanted K2SO. So to get another K2SO type of droid, this is, for what it is, it's not K2SO. It's the same type of droid, but it's not K2SO. We get it, but it's a good option for the people that wanted K2SO and that didn't want to spend, 600, 700. I'm not sure where he is right now on the market. But I think he's still in like the high 500, he's somewhere in that area. People don't
he's around like 450. I mean, he's not like cheap. I mean, like
but he dropped.
He's around.
He did
I
drop
sold
a little
mine
bit
for 450.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did drop a
Right
little
around
bit
there.
after this was announced. He kind of dropped a little bit.
He dropped,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
but he's still not low. I mean, that's still high. But
that's still high. Yeah, that's still high. But this is a great option. You're looking at about, with shipping and everything, you're looking at about what, 330 to get this, to bring this guy home. So it's a good option for people. But yes, this was a surprise. This was like, wow, because we only seen it. I was like, man, we only seen it like what, 10, 15 seconds, if that of it. But that's happened in Star Wars before. You think of that Power of the Force line back in the day, or the kid, or the original Kid line. You were getting baby Ewoks and stuff like that. So,
are we going to get another Ewok baby? Oh, goodness gracious. Weequay. Yep. No, good stuff there, Jay. And, Artem, I'm going to go to you. You can comment on this one, but as I go to you, let me pull up my number 9 biggest shock for Star Wars Hot Toys this year, where I wasn't, whether I was expecting it or not, I kind of wasn't. And this one may shock you that I wasn't, but I'm going to pull this up for number 9, and also from the Book of Boba Fett. I was a little surprised we actually got Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett, because we had the Boba Fett 2-pack from The Mandalorian Season 2. We have Boba Fett on the throne, which is en route to me from Hawk Wars Toys. Shout out to Ray at Hawk Wars Toys. I cannot wait to get that Boba Fett and throne in hand. And a lot of people were always telling me, and I said I really thought they were going to come out with this, but I would get a lot of comments from many of you in the chat and from a lot of people saying, Aries, I don't think so. I said, I still think that they're going to do it. I really don't think they're ever going to miss out on Boba Fett. But even though I'm predicting it's going to happen, it's still shocking to me. So this is my number 9 shock.
Yeah, well, this looks like it's from that scene where he's in the street with Mando.
Yeah,
and they're
finale.
fighting in the finale scene. And that was a really cool scene. In fact, when they went to that scene, I didn't want it to end. I wanted them to just keep fighting. And then, of course, he jumps on the Rancor at some point. So, yeah, that was a amazing moment. Maybe one of the best moments of the series. So I can understand why they did that, but it to me it felt a little oversaturated at this point. I had pre-ordered the 2-pack and I canceled that order because I had decided that I really did like Boba Fett on the throne. I thought that was the one figure that was, to me, embodied more of the way I viewed Boba Fett as sort of this person in charge. And it was at the end of The Mandalorian and then part of the Book of Boba Fett. So that's how I looked at that one. But it's still a good looking figure, but it felt like it's an oversaturation to me. I don't know, but I'm sure it's sold. I'm sure a lot of people bought this.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Good thoughts there. And Anthony, let's go to you. So you saw my number 10 being the KX Enforcer droid, my number 9 being Boba Fett. But I really did think they were going to come out with Boba Fett. But honestly, I didn't even have the KX Enforcer droid on my radar. But you can comment on those. But let me go to my number 7. Going down from 10. So that was 9. So let's go to number 8. And I'll pull this one up. This one's interesting. And I'm pulling this up onto the screen. This is a tease from the Scout Trooper, that official final production photos that were put out of Hot Toys' website, where you see the Scout Trooper and you see Leia and you see Wicket. But there's Chewbacca, Return of the Jedi. And I know we've talked about this before, Bud. But this actually makes it for me the number 8 because I was surprised. I know it's coming, but I'm like, hey, they threw Chewbacca in there in a whole Return of the Jedi set. Now, obviously, it could be the it could be the Force Awakens one, it could be the A New Hope one, but I actually think that this is a clear sign that this one's coming. So this is my 8th ranked shock for Star Wars Hot Toys in 2022. Go, baby.
I remember seeing this. Because for one, I was super excited that the Scout and Speeder came out, and then I was like looking at all their photos, and I thought, okay, I liked all the photos that this guy did. Right, that style is really cool. And then I saw Chewie, and I was like, oh shoot, okay, is this? Are you just taking creative liberties with these blogger shots, or are we getting something for 40th next year? Because clearly the days of Bespin Han and all that stuff, I think those are past. Like, they could have done it. Maybe they will down the road. Maybe it's a thing with Harrison Ford, whatever. But if they figure anything out, it's gonna have to be for Return of the Jedi next year. So I thought, okay, this has got to be another one, So yeah, dude, I was kind of shocked when I saw it too. I could see Leia and Wicket, right? I mean, they're right there behind me. So but seeing Chewie, I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not
Return of the Jet. Well, is it coming? Yeah, it's just
right. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have that, and it would be weird if they put like A New Hope. They could argue, well, Chewie's Chewie, whatever, but it makes you think. It really does. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, it's a tease.
Well, number 10 was Brent KX Enforcer droid. The number 9th biggest shock this year for Star Wars Hot Toys was Boba Fett's 6 scale figure from the Book of Boba Fett. And then this Chewbacca being in the, this Scout Trooper final production photos. And then here's my number 7 shock for this year. And I knew this was coming, but this was a tease. And right here where they put this up on the screen, they basically said on the Hot Toys Facebook website, hey, by the way, we're going to go ahead and put all doubts aside. We are coming out with all 5 of Clone Force 99. And there you go, baby. And we already just saw, obviously the epic, Crosshair announcement. Now we're just waiting officially for Wrecker and Tech. But I knew that this was coming, but obviously you always have some doubt. So this was a nice surprise and shock, even though it was a tease, and we did get one of them already.
No, you're right. I was surprised too when I saw this photo come out. I mean, there were conversations on your show about will they or won't they, and I think there might have been more people on the side of no, they won't. You're just going to get Echo, you're going to get Hunter, who kind of are sort of the main characters of the show, I would argue, and the other ones at this point have kind of, they kind of support it. But I think this is the right move for sure. Kind of like they're making all of the Inquisitors. You kind of have to do that, I think. I mean, those characters are a part of the story. And you can't really tell the story on your shelf about Bad Batch if you don't have all of them, can you? I mean, maybe some people can. I mean, maybe some people are like, you know what, Echo's all I need. I just need Echo, and that's it. And that's great. But I think you know, if you want the full-blown story told in your room, you need all of these. And I think it's a good move. I think it's a great move by Hot Toys to make them all. And they're not going to be cheap. Obviously, the first 3 are out and they're not cheap. And I wouldn't surprise me if the next 2, when they're released, might even be a little bit more expensive than the ones that have come out. But you know, I think this is an excellent move. And I think for the people who truly love this show, I like it. I'm not going to get any of these figures. I like the show. I like watching it with my son. But you know, for people who are truly into this is heaven on earth, man. This is fantastic, right?
Well, again, everybody, you are watching Six Scale Raw. We are counting down. Aries is the Dark Jedi here. 2022 most crazy, shocking Star Wars Hot Toys drops, announcements, and teases. And now we're going to go to back to you, Jay. Around the clock here, we keep going to number 6. And number 6 shock is, for me, there you go.
Yes.
The whole thing with the N1 Starfighter. Comment on this and any of the past ones. Go, baby.
All right, Steve. Okay. So, yes, I was shocked by this. Completely shocked with the scissor reel, with the you know, how many cons? I think, what was it, 2 cons they showed this at. This was a major flex for Hot Toys. Seeing them, you know, go back in and doing vehicles. The turbines have moving parts and engines and stuff in it. Looks good. Now, what's going to be more surprising to me is when we actually goes to pre-order and we get the damn price. That's what I want. That's when I'm going to just like jump out of my bed. I'm like, I'm probably going to call you. It's like, Aries, they did it. They really put it out. It's really happening.
It's $4,000.
Right.
It's diecast.
Right. You know, and here it is.
I can't even pick this thing up. Oh.
Where are you going to put it? I'm going to find a place. I'm going to find a place. Maybe on a roof. I don't know. Something. I'm going to find a place for it. But 6 feet, my God.
I mean, this was, Jay, this was like a month of topics on all of our channels.
Yeah.
I mean, and it still is.
Yeah. It's going. But you know what? I really think it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter. It's a matter of when. It's just a matter of when. They're real behind on stuff. And it's going to happen when we least expect it. We can't be like, oh, maybe they're going to put it out here. It makes sense if they do it for celebration. Or no, it's going to make sense if they do it for May the 4th be with you. No. Well, Hot Toys, they don't make any sense. It's going to come out like, I don't know. It's going to come out like, I don't know, maybe when Black Panther release, and then they'll just drop it out. Then it's weird.
No, absolutely no. Good stuff. And everybody in here, you are watching Six Scale Raw. Don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to all these great panelists who are in here now. I've got all their links to their channels in the video description below. So now we're going to get to Aries' top 5. We already did the first 5. The first 5, number 10, was a KX Enforcer droid. Number 9 was Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. Number 8 was Chewbacca tease from the Scout Trooper final production photos that was in that with the blogger photos. Number 7, the Bad Batch tease. Number 6, as Brother Cousins was just talking about, the N1 Starfighter. And now we're going to get into the top 5. Drum roll. Number 5 for you was this. Pulling this up onto the screen if it will load. So a lot of people were telling me, Aries, no damn way are they going to put out the 5th brother, the 4th sister. And my argument was with this is, hey, if they're coming out with what, a 300 Neo figures and just 3,000 Arena Suit Boba Fett's at these low numbers, why the heck wouldn't they come out with the 4th sister? They're probably not going to make very many of them. I'm going to be honest. I don't see these being. These are going to be low runs. I mean, they may be as low as the Arena Suit Boba Fett, but this was shocking to a lot of people. But they made a statement and said, "Hey, all 4 are coming. This makes my top 5, number 5."
Yeah. I have to say, when seeing this picture, just the photograph alone sells these items. When I first saw the picture of these Inquisitors together in this way, it looks as if you almost pulled them right out of the television. I mean, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And they look very intimidating. And it's one of the best presentations of the Inquisitors I've ever seen. This is maybe the best one. I think that anybody who's watching this should buy these Inquisitors, including Reva. I think that she has more presence and more stature here. She seems more part of the team in this particular shot. And they do seem intimidating, and they do seem like they're coming to get us. They are. They're going to get us. We're not going to be able to run away from them. They're going to take our wallets. That's what I said when I first saw this set. Honestly, the presentation, it's incredible. This is the type of stuff that we would see growing up in a catalog for toys, and we'd see these cool toys.
That's right.
And they'd have these poses, and it'd be like the person would be like, doing some. This is you would say, "Mom, I want this for Christmas." This is what it's just spectacular. So I wasn't surprised about this, because I think they realized that these Inquisitors, which have been around, has it been almost 20 years now that they've been around? From the Clone Wars, right? We saw them in the Clone Wars. It's been a long time since we've been seeing these characters. So it seems to make sense that we would see them this way. They've had their strongest presentation in live action this year. So this felt natural to me, Aries and the rest of the panel. This is natural. This is probably the best thing that came out of the book of Boba Fett. Is this set of 4. I wish they would sell them in a set of 4. And honestly, with this backdrop, they seem incredibly intimidating, and they have the feel and they have this presence of Star Wars that a lot of other figures don't always have. They're almost haunting, the looks on their faces.
And can you imagine Vader, the DX-28 behind this? Oh,
yes.
Damn.
Yes. So I was not surprised by this. What I was surprised is that they didn't offer it sooner. But I actually had to adjust and think about how much this is going to cost me to get all 4 of them, because this made me want to buy all 4. And I don't always get that feeling with a single photograph. Whoever took the shot, because this is whoever photographed this loves these Inquisitors. We really got the essence of what they are here. And I think that if they were to reintroduce the saber that they tried to introduce as Reva Saber from HasLab as an Inquisitor saber, like from one of these guys, it would sell just alone from this type of a presentation. It's all about the presentation and what you can give the customer. I'm sold. Like I'm completely sold on this. And I also wanted to say, Aries, in regards to the N1, because I know it was the one before, when I was, of course, and Brother Cousins, you mentioned it was at the cons, it was at Star Wars Celebration. They had the life-size one that they used in the show there. So, and yes, I did make a video, and I was at this thing. I stood in front of the N1 for about 2 hours. So yes, I knew I was going to purchase the N1. What I am going to say is that I think the N1 should probably be made by HasLab, and they're the ones who seem to get these things the best, way, and the best presentation and the best way to do it. At least we know they make an attempt to do it. We know when, they put a schedule out and they'll say, you have this amount of time and this is how much it's going to cost. And you kind of have an idea, in 30 or 40 days, whether you're going to get it or not. I don't want to have to wait for the N1 for 2 years or 3 years and still not know if we are actually going to get it. At least with HasLab, we know a bit more. So that's my concern with the N1. I'm surprised that, anybody else would be making it. It should be HasLab, in my opinion.
Love HasLab there. No, good thoughts, Artem. So that's the start of the top 5. You got number 5 there. We're going to go to you now. Good thoughts there, Anthony. So you feel free to comment on this or any of the previous ones. But Drum roll, please. Number 4, counting up to number 1 of the most shocks. And you're going to be like, what's 3, 2, and 1, Aries, if this is number 4? So 3, 2, and 1's going to be interesting, but it really shows you what kind of year. But in number 4 for me, most shocking for this year, and you got to wonder what the top 3 are then. You know what this is, brother. Do I need to say to anybody in the chat? Wait. But before we go, look.
That was my number 1.
Look. Well, you'll be surprised what my number 1 is, but we not only got C-3PO and R2 and the battle droid and the pilot, but another damn clone. Now, if you really think about it, you're going to be able to figure out what my 3, 2, 1 is. But go, Anthony. This made my top. This made my top 10 for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, this has to be up there because last May 4th was pretty lackluster, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know,
it was the Blurgs. You had Echo, which is fantastic, but that was the only one that was great. Everything else was good.
Yeah, and those just felt like another Tuesday. Like it didn't feel like a May 4th celebration, right? Like you'd be like, well, okay, these are coming. But then for them to just be like, you know, boom, 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 here's 5 from Attack of the Clones, 20th, it feels more of like an event, right? So I was blown away by that as well. I was mostly because of 3PO. I'm like, finally, you guys have been teasing this for like ever, you know. Which version is it? You know, it doesn't matter. I know some people prefer, myself included. I mean, I would prefer original trilogy, but I'm happy with this. I'm still gonna pick him up just because it's 3PO. I think he'll fit no matter what. Anyway, there's droids, man. Droids are awesome. The rest, you know, it's Attack of the Clones. It's really cool. I'm glad they did that. It's cool that we're getting another R2. It's basically the same, but a little different, right? He's a little dingier and he's got just a couple different accessories. But I'm glad because, you know, so many people wanted an R2. They missed out, and now we have another opportunity. It's exciting, man. And we're supposed to have a second wave, so I don't know where that's at. You know, that's still not here. So hopefully we'll see that, right? They said thrills and something, another wave coming, and that was in May. Now we're almost to November. I don't know. You know, I mean, if they're going to do it this year, I don't know if they would have a second wave for the next, because it's this year, right? You know, you'd think it has to be this year. So we have a couple more months left of the year for them to announce another wave. Can you imagine if they drop another 5 from this movie?
Oh, baby. You know, I can imagine quite a bit there, buddy. I think. Well,
that's like a huge surge, right? If they did that, then you're like, well, we had nothing.
Honestly,
and
how much
10
attention,
figures.
Anthony, did it? This gave them so much attention.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even. I mean, we forgot about a lot of the issues that they had just when they put stuff like this out. I mean, it was crazy.
Well, I think people mainly are. I really think it was 3PO. That was the force that, you know, really pushed people. Were like, oh, okay, so, you know, you're forgiven. Because a lot of people were just like, we need a 3PO, and then you know the rest are just, you know, good compliments of it, right? Because 3PO, we didn't have a droid, we got clones. I mean, you know, it's pretty cool, man. And if they do drop another 5, that's a huge chunk to episode 2 for next year. You know, considering what did we have? I think we had Dooku, and then Django came out. I think those are the only 2 that are branded Attack of the Clones.
You know what, Anthony? Before I go to Brent, because you said a couple things here and you'll figure it out, but is this what they call it?
They call him the Wizard.
Good stuff there, Anthony. Brent. So,
yeah,
counting down now. We're going to get to the top 3. Number 10 was KX Enforcer Droid. Number 9 was Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. Number 8, Chewbacca, that tease. Bad Batch tease. Number 7, Ed-1 Starfighter. Number 6, Fifth Brother, Fourth Sister, all the Inquisitors. Number 5, Attack of the Clones, Wave 1 Collage. Number 4, what could possibly be ahead of this? that.
Aha.
Of course. Yep.
Go ahead, Brent.
Well, we have been talking about this, Aries, for well over a year. I mean, I remember conversations on your shows before I was invited on where you were talking about this and that you were saying it was about time. This has to happen. It's dropping. It's coming. And yeah, I mean, it is because he is. There is Mace Windu in a shot. Obviously promoting the battle droid in this particular shot. I mean, this is a must. This is a key Jedi Knight from the prequels that we all need. I still have the Sideshow version of him, which is not awful. It's not great, but it's still being displayed in my room. But I certainly will be replacing it almost immediately with the Hot Toys version when this one is put up for pre-order. And I'm guessing that, we may see this before the end of the year. This figure could be a part of that next wave that we see come out. And my hope is that that's exactly what's going to be the case. And I also hope Padme is in there too.
Yes.
Top two, good stuff, Brent, Star Wars newsman. Number 2, biggest shock for Aries in 2022, more than anything else that I have put on, brother cousins. You got to wonder what number 1 is. But this here, and Anthony, I think they do call him the Wizard, and I'm going to pull this up because after that drop, pulling this up on the screen, this is, hey, we are preparing for more collectibles for Star Wars to celebrate the 20th anniversary. Stay damn tuned, Jay, for the next wave of thrills. So that was even, wow, okay, we're getting Mace. Is Mace in there? Are we getting Padme, like Brent said? Are we getting Kit Fisto? Are we going to get Anakin? Are we going to get Obi? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get that? Could we be getting a Palpatine? What could we be getting? So this was even more shocking because if you remember some of the comments, that's all you're going to get. And look, they're all droids and there's no head sculpts. And then 24 damn hours later, they're like, wait a minute. Let us go ahead and just say we're coming out with more. So more, I was like, wow, that's even more crazy to me than the first 5. This is number 2 for me.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is a big one because we're still waiting. We're still waiting.
We're still waiting.
We're like, what, like they just left us hanging, and we all see once again. There we go about Hot Toys doing things that make sense. They don't. They have their own timeline of when they're going to do stuff. We're going to get this announcement when we least expect it, and it's probably going to be Mace. It's probably going to be Padme, and then we got to think maybe just. They have so much stuff, and we all know that they're not a little behind, but they're behind on things. So maybe things just aren't ready to be shown. I'm still thinking. I know we're just speculating, but I'm still thinking. I mean, obviously they showed us Mace, so we're gonna get that full reveal of Mace. That's gonna be amazing. Just to see that's gonna be a bad MFO right there. To get that, and then also to Padme. I mean Padme, and who knows? We may get a Padawan Anakin or so that would be great too. I mean, it's so much goodness that can come from this right there, but we just don't know. We're still waiting. I just wish they would just drop something. Just let us know. Mace, I for sure thought we were going to get Mace we were going to see a full reveal of Mace this summer, and here it is, the fall, and we still waiting.
Well, I tell you what, we got to go ahead and fill up table 2 because we are at number 1. What is Aries's number 1 most crazy, shocking, coffee spilling, most epic Star Wars Hot Toys shock moment of 2022? And you have to wonder, was it actually a figure that was dead, gone, with Skeletor at the damn crib. I also have to wonder with this particular figure, is the Force strong with number one?
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
And I say, and I'm going to open this up to everyone as number one because I'm just going to open it up. Here you go, baby.
Yes.
And there he is. The Luke Skywalker DX 25. And I've gotten so many messages before as I would talk so much about that it's going to come. Have faith. Have faith, everyone. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Aries, no way. Gosh, they were just teasing. This was so long ago. And on April 13th, I remember the day, I was just absolutely crazy. So I'm going to have all of you talk on that. We start with you, and then we will go around. But this was number one for me. I know that, hey, the Attack of the Clones, the C-3PO, the Wave 2, the Bad Batch, all the things that we put up. But for me, this was the Buddy Shot Girl. This was the shot. This is my favorite character in Star Wars. This is the man. And this figure stayed number one for 6 damn weeks. 6 weeks. And it had nothing to do with anything, Art, on Disney Plus right now, 1980. So happy that this came out. This was the biggest moment for me in 2022 so far. And that's you, Autumn.
Yep.
I apologize. I think that this demonstrates that if they put out a quality figure, even if it's from the original series, that if it is like this, people are going to buy it. It looks incredible. Certainly there's nothing wrong with having such an amazing figure. You got all these accessories that came with it. I know I think that helmet comes with half of his face inside of it, and I can't remember everything that comes with it, but it shows that there still is a market for original series figures. So that's the one thing that I liked about this figure, was that if they can show that this can sell like this, clearly it doesn't really matter what people say about the community or collecting or anything like that. People are always going to be interested in Star Wars figures, regardless if it was from a character from 1980. It just doesn't matter. It's done beautifully. The look on his face, the expression on his face is, just absolutely stunning. I think that this really was a labor of love for whoever sculpted this. And, we got to all benefit from even seeing it. Even if you didn't pick it up, this really is a fantastic figure. So this is something special that they did. And I think that we would expect this level of a figure, or this level of quality of a figure at this point. Especially with these accessories. I think this one is one of the best this year.
Yeah, no, good thoughts, Artem. Let's go around the panel. Anthony, I don't know if you're surprised or not that I would pick this as number one, but we were waiting a long damn time, dude. Long time, dude. Come on.
Yeah, no, this is better than the previous 9. Just because it's.
I agree.
Look, DX07 was the first Star Wars hot toy.
Yep.
Okay, that was a long time ago. So, to get it again, I was actually shocked, man. I didn't think they were going to put in the helmet. That was a Sideshow exclusive. So I thought, well, no, they're not going to do the helmet. But they did. So I was like, okay, that's a little shocking. Obviously, we don't get the weather vane. We don't have the battle damage. It's not DX07, but I think it's an improvement. It's different enough, right? It's not the DX, it's not the double pack. It's cool. It looks better. In my opinion, I think it looks better. Dude, yeah. This is what we were talking about earlier. Like, if this is the type of stuff that's happening now in 2022, if this thing starts hitting low stock, I'm buying it. I mean, it's, you know, I'm already getting it anyway, but it's just, you know, I was going to wait, you know, like, I don't like just putting my money out there until I need to, usually, right? So, you know, what I would have done is when it came out, I would have bought it. But if this thing hits, it's the pre-order's down. I'm not missing this. There's no way I'm not missing this.
Yeah, I'm right with you, baby.
You know, there's certain figures that you just know that you're going to get regardless of whatever your situation is, right? You're like, I know I'm getting that, and this is one of them. So, yeah, this has to be number one. It's Bespin Luke. And like you said, and everybody else on the panel, you know, it hasn't been relevant as far as the media is concerned, right? Like with whether it's the books or the shows or anything. Just, oh, here's another original trilogy, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need, at least for me, right? You know, you come out, you give me a Han, you give me a Chewie, give me something else that we don't have, even though this is, you know, kind of, you know, a 2.0. But if they come out with other figures as well, anything OT, you know, that's always going to be relevant to Star Wars fans. You know, I think especially more so than the current stuff. You know, as long as they can deliver like this, dude, I'm all in. We got the. Wait, you know, he doesn't have the USB yet though, does he? He wasn't the first one.
I think,
or am I wrong?
I think he does have USB.
Does he?
That's a good question though, actually. I don't know.
I didn't know if.
No, you know what? He doesn't. I think the first one, or does he? Or is it the Obi-Wan DX27? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think
someone in the chat let us know.
Yeah, let us know, because I thought if they were going to go back on it.
Yeah.
But I could have been thinking about Ahsoka. I don't know. You know, I was like, well, moving forward, I don't recall. We'd have to look them up. So I think it was Obi-Wan, but I don't remember. But yeah, dude, I'm excited. This is number one for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to be running up on time here. Obi-Wan has led, I think someone's saying it there. Let me know if this one does. But real quick, going around first to Brent and Jay, because we're getting ramped up on the time here. But Brent, your thoughts on my number one here?
Well, I think it's the most important version of Luke Skywalker there is. I think this is, you know, a lot of people would say, well, farm boy Luke. Okay, I can see that argument. But this is the Luke Skywalker that had to choose between training and his friends. This is the Luke Skywalker who was hanging on a pole and was told, I am your father by Darth Vader, which is still the single most greatest reveal in motion picture history. And I don't think anybody on this panel would disagree with that. I mean, I don't know if anything will ever top that. This is what he looked like in that moment. This is who he was. This is the most important. This was when that young man was going through massive storytelling conflict. And when we think of Luke Skywalker, I think a lot of us probably picture this young man right here. I will be picking up this figure. I have the DX07 too. I've got the Weather Vane. I've got those two figures for sure. But I will be getting this one as well because I've got to have all the Lukes. And he's my favorite character. And, you know, this is a beautiful piece. And I can't wait to get him into my collection for sure.
Good stuff there, Brent. And Aries is number one, counting down the top 10. Brother Cousins, are you surprised, my man, that this was... It was an interesting, because you're like, wait a minute, how can that Attack of the Clones, you know, wave 5 be, you know, number 4? And then you saw the Mace Windu. Then you're like, hey, the second wave's coming. I have to put this first, baby.
Absolutely. Not a surprise at all. Not a surprise at all. But, you know, it's funny when this came out, because when this came out, I think that's probably when I first started Good Morning Grails. I think that was probably the first Good Morning Grail was me unboxing DX07. And, you know, I got DX07. I was so happy to get it, and still I'm happy to get it. But, you know, this came out shortly after that. Everybody was like, ooh, Jay, doesn't it sting a little bit? How do you feel? How do you feel? And I was like, dude, it's not DX07. You know, DX07, as Anthony said, that's the first one. I got that one for nostalgia purposes. And it's a 2-pack, you know. But looking at that 2-pack and looking at how far we have come with figures and with paint applications and just everything, you know, DX07 came out 2011. You know, so 2011, 2012. So they had to come out with this. They had to come out with something that had better tailoring, that head sculpt. Like, looking at that, if this is what we're going to get, if this is going to be close if final product is anything close to this is going to be a phenomenal figure just by that sculpt alone, and just the different, you know, hair pieces that you can use with it, the base, all of it. I mean, it is great. This is going to be an excellent release. I'm definitely going to have this in my collection, and I completely understand why this will be your first and most surprise reveal that they would give, because this was a shock. This was a shock to the whole community. It was like, what? And even when once again, Hot Toys doing things that making sense. They did this, I think this was April. They did it like a week before, like a month before May the 4th. It was like, come on. This would have been perfect.
End of April. It was like 27th or something.
Something like that. Yeah, weird. But, you know, I'm so glad that they're giving us all the opportunity to own this piece. This is amazing. This is the Luke Star. This is the Luke to have right here in your collection. Definitely Farm Boy, definitely Return of Jedi, definitely even the Mandalorian. Like Beskar Kid was just saying, that was Luke at his most powerful. You definitely want Luke at this point. I agree with Star Wars Newsman. I mean, must have all Lukes at this point. Definitely, he's my favorite Star Wars character. So absolutely must have him.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, what a freaking fun time that I had here on Six Scale Raw tonight. And how about that top 10? So much fun. And hopefully it sets the table to not, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of top 10s coming November and December. But here's the thing I'll say. We're not done. We still got the rest of October, November, and December. And you have to wonder, is it possible that there could be something, some type of shock, some type of tease that could even outdo the Bespin Luke? And I say, I better not say. We'll have to just keep an eye on it, because that's a damn hard one to beat. But maybe we'll get a Jar Jar. I don't know if that would probably rank up very high, because that would be the last thing that I would expect right now. But you have to wonder.
I think Jar Jar would break the internet. I'm seriously, he will break the internet.
Or what would break more, Jar Jar or Bale? I guess anyone who watches me. So listen, I know we're bagged up on the time. Anthony, I am going to take a page out of your book. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through each of the people here and take a page out of your book. Not going to have everybody talk about their channel night up on the time, but I'm going to start off with first. And I'm going to tell you, everybody here in the chat and watching this video, she has one of the best channels on YouTube. And there's one of the shows I watch all the time, Sunday Brunch on Sunday with her and Russ. Yeah, absolutely. I know many of you in here, go ahead and frequent that show. So many in here, like Single Songwriter and so many in here. Definitely check it out. Put it on your radar. And where do you subscribe to Positive Fandom? Just put it in YouTube, Positive Fandom. It's right there. Or go to the video description and just click on it. I got it right there, baby. Make sure, show some love for sure. Same thing with Jay, Brother Cousins. Best of the Best coming up on Thursday. Good Morning Grails coming up this week. One of the best channels as well. I got the link to Brother Cousins toy reviews in there. So make sure you subscribe to Brother Cousins. And last is certainly not least, with a channel, because Brent, you don't got one yet.
Yeah.
The Mafia, Six Scale Mafia. Come on, baby. You got an awesome channel, awesome vibe. Can't wait to be on your show again soon, dude, on Saturdays. And make sure you subscribe to the Six Scale Mafia. I've got the link to actually Six Scale Mafia in the video description, Positive Fandom in the video description, Brother Cousins in the video description. Every time I go live, whether they're on the show or not, they're always in the damn video description. So make sure you guys show some love. If you want to subscribe to me, you got that. Absolutely, Arnold. You can subscribe to me too. Six Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina. Much, much appreciated. Great time, guys. Great time. But listen, here's how we're going to end it today. This is my special ending. For those of you that came in late because you were at the Sideshow, live stream for Spooktacular, Here's the ending today, a special ending, which was the beginning. I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy it from Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friend.
So you have to wonder, is the choice drink here in Cloud City Spotchka or Code 45? Do you really have to wonder? Now look, you can spill all the coffee you want, but don't you dare spill a drop of that Code 45, baby. And hey, is Aries going to be telling you about all these brand new Hot Toys Star Wars OT figures coming in 2022? I would say, I don't know. Chewbacca, calm down. Tell Leia I'll be there in a second. That's right. It is the Hot Toys Wizard morphed into Lando Calrissian, aka Brother Cousins the Space Pimp. And remember, you're watching Six Scale Cantina.